tips for an unforgettable stay in Hanover. Capital of boredom? No way. Hanover has much more to offer visitors than just flawless High German. With a population of around 530,000, the city on the banks of the River Leine is one of the 15 largest cities in Germany. Internationally known primarily for Seebert, it is a great place to stroll along beautiful half-timbered houses and visit picturesque parks and gardens. Bremen, Hamburg or Berlin are only a stone's throw away, and the Leuenneberg Heath or the Steinhuder Meer are in the immediate vicinity. The capital of Lower Saxony is definitely worth a visit. Here are 10 tips for an unforgettable stay. The most sought-after photo motif in the City Hall. It is not for nothing that the new City Hall is in a row with such famous German sites as Neuschwanstein Castle, the Brandenburg Gate or Cologne Cathedral. Even though at first glance you might think you're looking at a castle, the magnificent Wilhelminian building with its spectacular dome is not the former residence of a highborn, but the seat of the mayor, the Hanoverian city administration and the citizen's office. Nevertheless, the landmark is of course also open to visitors. The world's only arched elevator gives them the opportunity to climb the 97.73-meter high dome. First it goes vertically upwards, before the cabin transports its guests to the top at an angle of 17 degrees. Not only does the glazed roof of the cabin offer the possibility to follow the ride, but also a window at the bottom. Once at the top, you are then rewarded with a breathtaking view of the nearby Lake Maschsee and the hustle and bustle of the city. City models show Hanover in the years 1698, 1939, after the World War and today. By the way, if you've always wanted to take a look behind the scenes, you can do so during an exclusive tour of the City Hall. The green oasis in the city, the Lake Maschsee. It's hard to believe, but Hanover consists of 50% green space. Particularly worth seeing is the approximately 80-hectare Lake Maschsee, which is barely a stone's throw from the new City Hall. Whether it's pedal boating, a detour in the beer garden, a leisurely stroll or simply relaxing in a beach chair, here you get that vacation feeling in the middle of the city. The picturesque Lake Maschsee is not only a destination for sports enthusiasts, but also the backdrop for the largest open-air event in all of northern Germany, the 3-week Maschsee Festival. Hanoverians say that if you haven't been to the Lake Maschsee, you haven't really been to Hanover at all. One more reason to pay it a visit. With the red thread through the old town. Looking at the idyllic alleys with their historic half-timbered buildings, inviting cafes and small stores, it is hard to believe that Hanover's old town center was almost completely burned out after the Second World War. But at the end of the 50s, the remaining half-timbered houses in the city began to be demolished and rebuilt collectively in the area around the Market Church and the Old Town Hall. Today, Hanover once again has a historic core that is worth seeing and invites visitors to shop and stroll around. In the immediate vicinity there is much worth seeing, such as the Holzmarkt with the Leibniz House, the cross church built in 1333 and the Ballhoplatz. Incidentally, you don't need a city map to find your way around Hanover's old town, because there is literally a red thread running through it that leads to 36 sites. The red line painted on the pavement measures a total length of 4,200 meters and makes discovery tours on your own child's play, a tourist guidance system of a completely different kind. For those who want to know exactly what they're looking for, there's an accompanying brochure that explains all the attractions along the red line in more detail, and most recently, there's even an accompanying app. Mini-Versaille, the Herrenhauser Gardens. Hanover is rightly one of the greenest major cities in Germany. Every year, the Baroque garden art of the Herrenhauser Gardens attracts around 500,000 visitors, impressing them with colorful diversity and paradisiacal beauty. Built at the end of the 17th century on the French model, it features water features, fountains, cascades, gallery buildings, a maze and an orangery. During the summer months it hosts theater performances, garden festivals and the famous international fireworks competition. A special highlight is the grotto, which was created in the 19th century. Pieces of pebbles, glass and mirrors transform it into a work of art made of colors and light. Extremely worth seeing. The Bergarten also houses Europe's largest collection of orchids in the botanical garden and an aquarium. Royal ambience in the castles of Herrenhausen and Marienburg. If you like to walk in the footsteps of the former Kingdom of Hanover, you should definitely visit the castles of Herrenhausen and Marienburg. Destroyed during World War II and only lavishly rebuilt in 2011, Herrenhausen Palace once served the Guelph dynasty as a summer palace and venue for prestigious receptions and dinners. Today, its walls house not only a modern conference center, but also a museum displaying Baroque treasures with more than 500 exhibits. As an alternative, Hanover also has Marienburg Castle on offer. Built in neo-Gothic style, the hunting lodge was once a gift from King George V to his wife Queen Marie of Hanover. After her departure into exile, it was inhabited only by the janitor for almost 80 years. During a guided tour of the palace, you can marvel at the royal splendor and learn a lot of interesting facts about courtly life in the 18th century before enjoying a royal meal in the adjoining restaurant. On safari at the Adventure Zoo. You won't see any bars or cages at Hanover Zoo. Instead, the animals run free here in lovingly designed themed worlds. From giraffes and polar bears to kangaroos and antelopes, there's an impressive animal lineup. Covering 22 acres, the zoo is home to more than 2,000 animals of many different species. Each themed world is adapted to the habitat of the respective animals, so visitors young and old can take a trip to the wilds of Canada, an Indian jungle, the Australian outback, or an adventurous boat ride through wild Africa. It's a great experience for the whole family. It's not for nothing that Hanover Zoo has been voted the best in all of Germany for the 6th time. The Leibniz House. Built in 1499, the Renaissance citizens' house takes its name not from the famous cookie with 52 teeth, but from the philosopher and longtime court librarian Gottfried Wilhelm Leibniz, although the popular pastry is also inextricably linked to this son of the city, who lived here from 1698 to 1716. After being completely destroyed in World War II, the house was faithfully reconstructed in the 1980s. It is now used as an administrative building for the Hanoverian universities and as a guest house. Caricature and drawing art at the Wilhelm Busch Museum. The Georgian Palais, built in 1780, houses not only a unique Wilhelm Busch collection, but also satirical works by such well-known artists as William Hogarth, Francisco de Goya, Honoré Daumier, Thomas Theodore Heine, Ronald Searle and James Gilray. A wide-ranging permanent collection and exciting temporary exhibitions feature historical and contemporary caricatures, prints, cartoons and comics in a beautiful setting. Linden District, the Kreuzberg of Hanover. Formerly a working-class neighborhood, Linden is now home to a colorful mix of creatives and alternatives. The streets are lined with beautiful Art Nouveau houses, typical northern German clinker brick facades and run-down factory buildings in equal measure. From chic to graffiti, you'll find it all in Linden, especially a lot of cool stores and cute cafes. Clearly the hippest neighborhood in the city and a good place for a little wander. Memorial against the war, the Aegidien Church. Even though today only the walls and the old church tower remain, the Aegidien Church is a site with goosebump potential. Destroyed in 1943 by air raids on the city, it was decided not to rebuild the church. Instead, it now serves as a memorial to the victims of war and violence. A place of peace in the middle of the city with a unique atmosphere. Eating and enjoying. Hanover has a large number of great culinary establishments with cuisine from all over the world to offer. Whether traditional German cuisine, experience gastronomy or worldwide culinary delights, Hanover's restaurants cover every taste. By the way, every visitor should have tried at Lutje Lager, a special festival beer and Hanoverian specialty. The area is also one of the largest asparagus growing regions in Germany, and asparagus is plentiful in the city.